And we're back.
Hello,
Hello, how it is and how it do. Welcome in and welcome back. I'm Sir Benners,
There we
and
go.
you're watching the Disney Channel.
Oh, I hate
Da-na-na.
it.
Wait.
All right, we're good to go.
But I'm gonna do it like they actually do it in the behind the scenes.
All right. How it do, how it be, how it is, everybody. Welcome in and welcome back. It is Longshot Season 5 premiere, Terraform Chapter 4, Episode 1. I am so incredibly hyped to be getting back into it, and I will be doing a very long recap that I've written out for everybody. But before we get to that, a couple of announcements, and then we'll meet our amazing cast. I'm Sir Feffers. Thank you for being here. We have fully edited episodes up on the YouTube Jake and Feffers if you're looking to get caught up of the 3 weekly campaigns that we stream here on the Twitch. And if you would like to join our community, there's the Discord link. It will be in the chat. We are as chaotic as we are wholesome. You have been warned. It feels so good to be getting back in the saddle after the summer series. While they were both phenomenal, Ben Brainerd and Critfail Jake, both of them ran phenomenal stories that were super fun. I have been kind of clawing at the wall and at my crazy board, taking notes and rewatching everything and coming up with stuff. At one point, one of my friends was like, "Jeff, this is too built up. You need to cut like a third of what you figured out here. Just toss it." And I was like, but I don't want to. And he was like, "No, you gotta. You did this last season where you built up too much." So that said, let's meet the phenomenal cast and crew. Let us start with the amazing Taylor and Tracy.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor Ann Tracy. You can find me everywhere as Taylor Ann Tracy. I am the writer and game master of the LARP Heinefall. If you're curious what I'm doing, where I'm constantly looking down and doing this weird stuff, we got new coins for my LARP. So we're busy unwrapping 2,500 bits and coins. If you want to see them in closer detail on what they look like, go check out Heinefall's Instagram. There's a really cool video up there. It's a 5-day, completely immersive medieval LARP set to King Arthur themed. Come play, join a kingdom, join a guild, beat each other up with foam swords. It's a blast. I like to say that it's D&D in real life. And I play Eshna. She is a Kalishtar, Circle of the Stars druid. She is I'm trying to think of like even what emotional state she's in right now, and it's mostly just trying to figure out if she is going to be a good mom and apologize for keeping a really big secret from Levy, or if she's gonna knuckle down and be like, it's not that bad. So we'll see how that goes. I'll pass it over to Levy, that dorky cosplayer.
Everyone, I play Levy and I am dorky. Do not get the two mixed up. Very different people, for sure. You can find me everywhere pretty much as that dorky cosplayer or some semblance of those words. I do cosplay, I make costumes, I stream on Twitch, I do YouTube, I do a lot of shenanigans. You should come say hi. They are fun with friends. So more shenanigans, the better. And yeah, I want to have the honors. Can I pass it off to our guest, our new player?
Mm-hmm.
All right, passing it to Shane.
Hello, everyone. My name's ShaneWhally. You can find me on all my socials at ShaneWhally, but on Twitch it's ShaneWhally because someone decided to steal my name. I do focus content on slice of life, lifestyle, storytelling, skit, comedy, beauty, and fashion. And we are doing more D&D content now, so that's fun. And coming into the long shot is going to be super exciting. I'm extremely nervous, but we're going to have fun with it. You'll see me mess up and ask lots of questions because that's what I do. And my character is Lorwyn, and he is a dragon rider, outrider, and his dragon's name is Sonari. and he is a wonderful warforged, very poised, understanding, and down to earth, mellow, but curt and sharp. He is there to treat everyone with equal kindness until it's broken. And I don't know who to pass it on to next.
You
Ben?
can throw it to Ben or Jake. Benedict?
Hi. Hi, my name is Ben Brainerd. You can find me on the internet. I am playing Philo Match, the Order of Scribes Wizard. I love books, and I want to find my dad. I've been in a cocoon with a jid for like the past bit, so we'll see what happens there. I have no idea.
It's been a couple weeks.
It's been a couple weeks in the cocoon, and you know how I'm so confident and capable, and I am fearless. So this will be great. Jake,
A beautiful butterfly.
Hello, I'm Critfail Jake. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. I play Anarian, the Fallen ASMR cleric. I believe last we saw him, Pod had basically just dumped a plague, or caused a plague to be dumped on the place where their parents were, which is super cool. So he's just hoping that they get there in time. Did contact Dad, who was okay, but Mom is like in it somewhere. So time is of the essence, and he's like, let's go. We'll save Estes people, but we gotta go.
All right.
So
excellent. And for a final announcement, this is not our only campaign. Weekly, we stream Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. This one is Terraform. We also have a Western called Windfall and a crazy level 20 campaign called Void Scourge. That is kind of like Treasure Planet meets the Fey Realm. It's strange. But that said, let us begin. I am very excited. It's gonna be all sorts of fun, guys. It's gonna be great. Let's recap. Is that playing? Yes, it is. Eviosa, the Djinn, was discovered in the forests of Amirda. While the nature of how she conducted her druid circle was both repulsive and cannibalistic, the party found her to be a much-needed ally. The trail for Mere Sky has gone cold, but the party suspects the Chain Circle to be responsible for the disappearance of various powerful Djinn. The party believes this faction, reminiscent of the Illuminati, wields magical items called iron flasks to control these Djinn and advance their mysterious agendas. Eviosa also inadvertently revealed that Eshna was Mere Sky's lover, a secret she had kept from Levi, Mere Sky's daughter. This revelation has led to some turbulence between the two. Wife, apologies. Wife, let me just...
Thank you.
You're right, my apologies.
Wife?
Eviosa also disclosed that Levi is Duskborn, a phenomenon that occurs when the Djinn as a whole are threatened. Levi is delving into uncharted territory, exploring how the land's investiture can be manipulated, effectively shaping the very essence of the land itself. She is beginning to learn the art of terraforming. Roll credits. Eshna received a distressing message from one of the Lost Ones, Quip, whom we met at the beginning of last season. Quip is on the verge of being transported to St. Pete's, a large-scale prison run by the Church of Despair. Knowing that no one ever returns from St. Pete's, the party successfully broke Quip out of the local jail in Furinor. Eshna begins to entertain the idea of bringing her cult of lost children back under her wing. Now on to Pod and Anarian. Anarian is being hunted by the god Despair, who is attempting to manifest Asenisa, a fallen angel who once fought on behalf of the Hells. Despair aims to force Anarian to be possessed by his ancestor and use that authority to reopen the doors to Hell, a task long sealed by the now missing god Zeal, Tempestas, the Stormfather. This would result in not only the doors to Hell being opened, but all the other closed doors. The material plane would have access to the Feywild, Shadowfell, the heavens. Anarian, previously a cleric of Amiss, will undergo various trials to transition into a cleric of Amora, the other twin trinity. This will cleanse him of the subtle blight that is haunting his celestial bloodline. Pod, also a cleric of Amiss, was informed that they would have to sacrifice everything to save their brother. Pod's response was a mix of agreement and disagreement with Amiss, as they tried to keep an open mind and explore all options. They delved into the intricacies of nonlinearity, becoming increasingly fixated on death, which strained their connection with Amiss. Amiss warned them that their preoccupation with death bordered on heresy and seemed to surpass their devotion to their god. This marked Pod's second rejection of Amiss. Pod then actively sought out and confronted despair from a safe distance, goading the god, searching for clues as to despair's true nature and intentions. In response, despair unleashed a devastating plague of undead upon the southernmost regions of the kingdom, known as the Salted Wastes, a no man's land. Presenting Pod with an ultimatum: reveal their brother's location in exchange for ending the plague. Pod steadfastly refused to give Despair any information whatsoever. However, later, the siblings realized that their parents were in the same region, spying on the sacred rituals of the Church of Death, and were now in grave danger. The party set out to come to their aid. Thylo is in a cocoon. I accidentally clicked away. It wasn't that long of a pause. There we go. Thylo is in a cocoon, a machination designed by Eviosa that is able to sift through all of recent memory. It began by sifting through Thylo's own memories, building a picture of his father, Thranegar. And that is where we'll be picking up. Thylo, are you ready? Just the chair moving around. All right, Thylo.
I had to plug something in.
It has been a very strange and mind-altering experience. Over these past couple of weeks, you've been enwrapped in this cocoon, and little vines and roots have moved in behind your eyes. Oh, I should probably say this. I'm just going to warn everybody that these campaigns are very horror-based. There are very dark topics, dark themes, and very aggressive and what's the word I'm looking for? Grotesque descriptions. So these vines and these roots have curled up your nose, have gone behind your eyes, have moved into your very pores, and you have been slowly rotated as this mechanism of Eviosa's design has essentially downloaded all of the memories that you have of your missing father. Using that as a base, it seemed to sift through, and you felt this. Make a wisdom save. Sorry, a wisdom check. Let's make it a wisdom check. And you felt it. You felt it sift through this almost living thing that was the current recollection of the kingdom, of the land, searching for Thranegar.
Dirty 20.
Okay. Say hello to a +1 to your intelligence.
I have room for that.
It is a strange experience, but you kind of keep with it, and because you rolled so high, you understand that it over time begins to run into problems. It discovers the recollection of recent memory. Someone talking to Thranegar, someone recalling a recent conversation with Thranegar, but it's not able to actually gain any information. It's able to sense it, but not actually use any of the information. These people who have your father have very powerful protection over their minds. Straining further, it begins to try to move farther back through time to see past memories, and it doesn't find anything, and it keeps searching, it keeps sifting, and then like a beacon of white light, it catches something. A Warforged who has had relatively recent, a little farther back, but relatively recent conversations with your father Thranegar. Because you rolled so high, I will tell you that this was the night that your father went missing. But a Warforged's mind is alien to this organic mechanism. And you feel a searing pain as the strain from moving so far back and searching so hard only to pull from the mind of something so alien. You feel the rot and the wilt overcoming. But before it can properly taint your flesh, before it can reach your mind, a knife is driven and pulled down and pried open, and you are roughly pulled out of the cocoon. It's the centaur. And he goes, "Wow, what happened? What has occurred?" And he kind of tries to sit you on your feet. And he catches you and leans you back up.
Everything?
And then
There were worms.
No. And then a mind looms into yours. Eviosa, who is away, working amongst her circle. What has happened? And you see the centaur stiffen as well.
It's a lot, but also, you know, now I'm out of the cocoon, and there was a Warforged.
I'm on my way. And the sentience dissipates. Taylor, roll a d12 for me, real quick, just for funsies, for reasons.
It's never just for reasons.
3, got it. I'll tell you what that is in a second.
Does working among her circle mean eating people, or?
Sometimes.
Okay. Noted.
You are deep within the ruins below the Silver Bastion, and you hear the large stone door up on the surface open, and then a gust of wind fills the room, and swirling within the middle of it, you watch Eviosa form out of the wind. She looks saddened. You can see that. Well, make an insight check.
16.
16. You can see that while she is clearly disappointed that her fun machine is destroyed, she appears sorrowful on your behalf. And she steps forward and takes both of your hands and holds them and says, "I wish that we could have given you more clear answers. This has never happened before.
If it makes you feel any better, it's also never happened to me.
Do you have a lead?"
There was a Warforged, but I don't know if I got a name or a location.
Try to describe this Warforged to me as you attempt to make an intelligence check, as you attempt to wisdom, as you begin to try to vocalize the strange experience you've gone through.
14 on the wisdom check.
14 on the wisdom check. Since your friends had left, we had begun expanding our intelligence network, and we have sent little birds here and there to collect information. I've heard tell of a certain Warforged, a mechanical being by nature.
Forged for war.
What we have heard is that they had bonded with a dragon. And if this is true, then you will find this Warforged in Bairnold, the plague of undead. We are fortunate enough that our
Thilo
city...
know about the plague of undead?
I don't know. At what point did you leave to go do... Oh, yeah, no, you don't.
The what? A what?
The
who of how? Why?
Your friends... It's a long story, but Despair, the god, unleashed a near-apocalyptic event, potentially apocalyptic event, out of spite, it seems, upon the salted flats, the salted wastes, south of the city of Bairnold. Bairnold, thankfully, is a bottleneck. They have been successfully able to push back certain waves. But that said, the nobility have summoned their dragon riders. If you're looking for that Warforged, you'll probably find them in Bairnold, which I believe your friends went to as well.
Oh no, for sure. Yeah, if there was gonna be a plague of undead, that'd probably be the first place I look if I'm looking for my friends, coworkers, people that have been traveling with me. And well, to be fair, I've been traveling with them. If I'm being honest, it's not so much a mutually beneficial agreement that we have. I don't even know if we have an agreement. They haven't told me to leave yet. But they did leave me now. I wasn't a cocoon, so I don't know if they would want to stick around.
She takes that moment to be like, so you'll be setting off then?
Yeah. Yep. Going to the plague of undead.
Any provisions
I'm a dad.
you might need?
What was that?
Any provisions you might need?
Probably like food and stuff. I can't imagine that stayed fresh when I was in the worm. When I was in the cocoon. Food.
See to it, Centaur. Nods. Come on then.
Okay. Bookmark.
Ah, yes.
The sentient dagger that I have not... that I have been treating like Pikachu.
Hey. What's up? What's going on? What are we doing?
You weren't in the worm thing with me.
The whole time. I have been bored out of my mind. It's been a whole time.
Oh, I'm so glad that you were so bored in there. I was dealing with worms in my face.
I don't remember any worms.
You don't have a face.
I mean, you're right, but...
I don't think that's an insult. I was just observing. Do you have a face?
No.
You're lucky.
Oh.
Anyway, now we have to go to a place with a bunch of there's a plague of undead happening.
Okay. I'm not
So,
scared.
yeah, do you know anything about Bairnold?
Yeah, actually, let me just adjust this. Alright. Bairnold, yeah, the Church of Death has a
Good.
heavy presence there. I believe it to be mostly run by the nobility, but the Church of Death has quite the hold on that place. Adjusting. There we go. Check, check. Nope, that's worse. Check, check.
Well, we're gonna go there.
Okay. I'll help.
You're kind of cutting out with that voice mod.
I'll help.
Okay.
I'm sitting there fidgeting with it, trying to make it more like understandable and just making it worse as I go. I'm like, oh no. All right.
You can understand it would peak often.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot to prep his voice, I'll be honest.
One of many things that all of us forgot to prep.
All right.
I forgot he existed, so
Let
that's
us-
any consolation.
Let us transition now.
Do we want to do our first break now and then like 5 minutes come back and go from there?
Sure. All right, chat. We'll be right back. Meow. And we return. Let us now pan over the militant city of Bairnold. Long ago, this is the southernmost reach of the kingdom of the House Lords of Thorn. Long ago, there was a war between the Lords of House Toil and House Thorn, and all of the houses that answer to those respective lords. The Salted Wastes became the no man's land between the two regions. And such brutal combat was had that upon retreating, Toil salted the land. No crops can be grown here. Nothing has any life whatsoever. There are no insects to be found. So as the people of House Thorn could not build their borders farther down easily, and they didn't. The military barracks that were set up in the bottleneck in the southernmost reaches eventually became a city. A very tidy city, run by military standards. General Chorshire Thorn resides here, a very disciplined man. And the Church of Death has a prominent standing as well. See now in your mind the masses of undead belched up from the salted soil. All these long dead soldiers forced to crawl back up and fight and ravage the land in mass, congealing together to make horrible things. Greater, more powerful beings having risen up, beginning to try to form something. Anarian, Eshna, Levi, Pod, all of them helped, along with the assistance of Anarian's parents, to move into these areas, being powerful adventurers, gaining favor with the general, finding specific powerful undead and snuffing them out. But it's never enough. There's always another corpse to rise up after the one that is slain. Anarian, you're on a horse. You have
I'm on a horse.
you are on a multi-day journey back to the city of Bairnold, and you are spent. You are roughly at 3/4 of your hit points. You don't have many spell slots left. You've been just murdering you some undead. Just going ham. You know that Pod is farther back, having split off to investigate a few things that the Church of Death might have been up to, learn a few things about non-linearity and death in general, as is their way. You round a small hill, and you can see between you and a warm bed is a mass of undead. You see a flare go up from behind the city walls, and you know to take cover.
How far away is the undead from me?
Maybe 100 feet is where the stragglers start kind of appearing, and then maybe a quarter mile is where it's just bodies and bodies.
What is there nearby that I could take cover behind, or is it something like that I know that comes from above, or
you know that the
like,
city of Bernold has recently become outfitted with mortar cannons, and there is about to be quite the detonation of shrapnel to come down the way. Make a perception check.
24.
24. You see a what must have been like a well of some kind long ago, and so now it's just kind of this hole in the ground that you might be able to crawl into. You're not 100% sure on your options for the horse, though. You have the small-ish hill that you're standing on top of that you might be able to make work.
How long do I have?
Not long at all.
Like a turn? Or like a minute?
You have 4 turns.
24 seconds. How far away from the city am I? If I lose my horse, how bad is it as far as getting back in?
Half a mile, maybe. Not long.
Grow summon heavy plate. That's nasty. Okay. Saving horse for sure.
I'm not
I was gonna,
sticky.
anyway, but
They're all undead?
But we're talking about thousands.
I don't think there's a number on turning.
There is a radius, though. And it is a single burst.
Oh, is it?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
that's not helpful.
if you just grab onto the floating dagger near your head, it can dimension door you.
Oh, I have one of those?
No.
Dang it. Here, take my horse. I'm fine. When you say I don't have many spell slots left, do I not have my high level spell slots left?
I would say a smart cleric like yourself would keep a few high-level spell slots in the pocket.
I have a spell that just like auto-reses something if it dies. Where is it though?
It's not Feign Death. It's not... Is it Death Ward?
Oh yeah, there's that, yeah. I have an aura that just if you die in it, you get a hit point back, but Death Ward is better. I cast Death Ward on my horse.
Okay.
And then to be safe, I'll cast Death Ward on me.
Okay.
Because why not? If there's any kind of anything to like hide the horse behind that was safety, I'll put him behind that, and then I'll climb down into the well, I guess.
Okay. You pop the death wards, you demount and grab the reins and quickly move the horse down, who is kind of pulling at the bit a little bit. Make an animal handling check.
But that's wisdom. I have wisdom, right? 22.
22. The horse immediately looks at you and sees the sincerity and the urgency and moves down. And you're even able, with the 22, able to settle him down on his knees. And horses are weird. They got fingers for legs. They're monstrosities. Anyway,
Grass equals fast.
and you're able to move yourself down to this hole just as the ground begins to shake and massive amounts of detonations go off, and you feel the heat and the screams of the undead returning to the dead. We cut now to Eshna and Lavina. The two of you are in a strange, are currently walking in to a headquarters of a kind. You can see a huge bay window overlooking the Salted Flats. Very ornate room. You can see a couple of high-ranking nobility, a couple of various high-ranking holy folk as well amongst the room. They seem to all be arguing, but a quiet goes over the crowd as General Chorshire raises a hand, looking at a scroll. He's a missive he's just been held, and goes, "Brace." Everyone kind of gets their footing, and maybe some of the older individuals grab onto like the table that with the maps that they're poring over as the guns go off.
Hey, what guns?
So glad you asked. Lord Marin of House Fold stands without holding on to anything up by the bay windows with his back to the lot of you as these massive cannons move down into place and detonate backwards, the ground shaking, some silt falling from the ceiling, and just wholesale slaughter for about a half mile in front of what you're able to see. As the party knows, Lord Marin of House Fold is one of the wealthiest men in the kingdom. A halfling, rotund and portly in nature, with horsehair wristbands, begins pacing back and forth, looking upon the guns that he brought to this land. The technology that he was intrinsic upon introducing to this kingdom. Now advanced in technology. You see the barrels, the massive barrels of the mortar, and fire another volley in quick succession. The current technology of the time is muskets, flintlock pistols. This is another caliber entirely.
Damn.
General Chorshire stands up. Good. Now where are the damn dragons? They were supposed to be here days ago. He looks over at a member of House Reichs, who quickly looks about. They will be arriving shortly, rest assured. The doors open, and instead of anyone who resembles a dragon rider, Lord Braylor walks in, and by his side, a certain drow, the High Inquisitor of the Stormfather. Braylor nods to the Inquisitor, who nods back and moves over and begins talking curtly with the general. Lord Braylor moves at a crink in his neck and then does a double take, seeing Eshna and Levy, and goes, "Well, kind of
Hello.
fixes his outfit a little bit.
What's brought you? You're here to help, I'm guessing.
Indeed. Whatever I can do to help. I have brought militant men and my dragon riders.
Oh,
And
so you
provisions.
have brought dragon riders.
We've brought some. We don't have many.
Okay.
There's been a few. He looks at the High Inquisitor. Issues on the island of Pardon.
And this is. I gesture to the High Inquisitor.
A very busy and stressed individual. I will make introductions when things are smoother.
All right.
But hello.
Hello.
He looks to the both of you and says, I did not expect you to be here.
We have been for a few weeks now, and gonna go up and give him a hug.
Gives you a hug back. Okay, so make an insight check. Because he gives you a big hug back.
That he has so tight. Hey, go down.
But he touches your butt.
No.
The inside check's real low because you can feel it.
Right. Sorry, I've not done this. You said an insight check.
Yes.
Oh, there it is. Oh, 17.
17. He has a brief look, a tension in his shoulders. His eyes look sideways. That was a large display of affection for someone of his stature, and he probably shouldn't have been so open with his emotions in such a public setting. And he doesn't regret it, but he certainly was out of what is considered courtly manners. And kind of looks around. He has walked in with a retinue of people.
I would say it's safe to say if we've been here a few weeks and we've been interacting with all these high important people, they will have quickly learned that Levy does not do courtly manners or anything like that. She treats everybody exactly the same, even
Matter
when
how
it's
much
not
I've
right.
tried,
Yeah.
will not learn.
Decorum isn't in Levy's vocabulary.
Have you been safe? The last time we spoke, there was quite a lot going on, he says, being discreet.
Yeah, there's even more going on now. With all this, the dead rising and fighting again, that's been a whole adventure.
Yes, thankfully, they can't swim for shit. So we've got them bottlenecked here pretty well. I don't suspect anytime soon that we'll have any issues with them getting northward of the city. And he kind of takes in the tenseness of the room and kind of revises his statement. He gets a little more serious. Goodness, interesting. At this time, the doors swing open again. And walking alongside a high lord, a very high-ranking lord of House Reichs, is a ornate Warforged. White and gold marbling, a golden skull-like mask on the front, a rose pin indicating an alliance made with House Thorn, which carries weight. And another individual directly behind them, looking about with eyes that seem to be drinking in everything. Lorwyn, tell us about you. Tell us about your nature. Tell us about your appearance. Also, big ups to Taylor on the art. My goodness.
Yes, this art is fantastic. So, Lorwyn, as described by Feff, is in white marbling with gold encasing. His neck is hollow in the back, all the way up to the engravings going behind his ears and then into the skull and his face. His robes match similar to the one person behind him, but in different ways. And they, when he walks, it's not like he's walking as if he's continuously walking on air. His movements just flow with him. He's as if nothing is holding him down. And when he comes into the room, he looks at everyone. Of course, being Warforged, emotion on his face may not be the most expressive bit, but you can tell that nothing is bothering him from who's in this room, and he knows where he stands that he's in this room.
And would you care to... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Would you care to describe maybe your compatriot, the individual who is at your side?
For sure. So behind me, someone just shy of his height, is a woman figure with hair as white as starlight. And down to her neck is gold embroideries into a sharp pin that falls into a sheer duster behind her that clips at her hips. She has the rose as well, but opposite versions of the color. And they are sessioned just on each of her biceps. And then she has jewelry going up her ears and into her hair that is spiked with silver and platinum tips. Ooh. She has adorned a belt that looks to be claws, but it is totally made of gems that resemble her hair. And then down to her legs almost look as if she's having pauldrons that are soft, and then going to Leek's high-heeled toe.
I'm loving this. You have spent some time, Lorwyn, amongst the dragon riding trainers of House Reichs. You have found them to be quite mystic, and the fact that a Warforged can bond with a dragon kind of challenges their entire doctrine. Kind of challenges everything they thought they understood about the bond that they have built their entire understanding around and dogma. However, you've got a certain rose-like pin. Yeah, what's up?
Someone in the chat said, "I can't wait for Taylor to draw this." And I believe Taylor has already drawn this.
Yes. You will see the addition of the long neck and head of the dragon on the BRB screens and the starting soon screens. It's just kind of big to fit into the template as a whole. So
we just don't have the other version.
Yeah,
So
Don't we have the Discord channel they can look at?
that's true. Yeah, sure. I'll throw a picture into the Discord channel.
Okay.
Chat,
Check
if you
the
would like to
Discord
join
channel.
the Discord channel, there is a Terraform channel, and we use it for various visual aids as well as the community as a whole. That is a super dope dagger bookmark. I'm getting off topic.
New community challenge. Everybody draw the human form
Yeah,
of
there we go.
the companion. I want to see how many people have different things based on the description. I want to do it too.
That was a really well thought out description, Shane. That was really cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I got an image in my head.
I would love to see what people do. That'd be so cool.
Levy, the last time you saw a metallic humanoid was in Thylo's home. That was a suit of armor. This appears to be something intrinsically more complex.
Wait, so you're saying I've seen someone similar?
You've seen an artificer's armor before.
Oh, okay.
This looks a lot like that, likely designed much differently, but it's reminiscent of something that you know Thylo's father would be capable of.
All right. Gonna kind of sidestep the others and make an approach.
Would you like to describe
Why?
yourself, Lavina, for Shane?
Oh yeah, huh? So, Levy is in her human form right now, and she has big red curly hair and a outfit that is very much that of a dancer. She does not move quite like she's walking on air, but she has a lot of confidence in her step, but the steps are very light. She moves very easily, kind of like more with the wind kind of vibes. And she is, despite the clear tension in the room, everybody's stressed, you frowns all around, she's just like, it's such a good day. Like, she's just fine and dandy and happy and making her way over. Why, hello. I don't believe we've met.
Lauren turns his head and a smile slowly disappears from his face. And he does tilt his head slightly. It's like, it's nice to meet you as well. Hello.
And gestures towards the beautiful being beside you.
Yeah, I turn my head back, and both my companion and I have a smirk at each other, and I look just like, I am Morrowind, and this is Sonari.
Well, it is great to meet both of you. I am Levy. Over there is my companion Eshna.
I peer over just to take a look.
Ashley, would you like to describe yourself?
She is a tall Kalashtar with long blonde hair, pale skin. Her freckles that go across her face glow like stars. And you can see the constellation of the Big Dipper going across her face. She wears a large clear gem on the top of her forehead, and she is normally adorned in very elegant clothes. I would describe her normal dress right now being switched for a more elegant fighting leather for the activities that are going on currently. But she stands very, she has no idea really what's going on, but she's standing like she's in charge of the room. And all power and everything like that. So just full confidence, little wave back.
Laura, when you hear in your mind, Sonari goes, I like that one.
I can tell why.
So, I'm sure they are probably waiting for you. So come in, take a seat. I've been trying to tell them we need to get snacks for these meetings, but they just haven't listened yet. But I might sneak out later and get some. So if you have any requests, just let me know.
Sonari.
At that point, I'm gonna say that I've casted invisible servants, and at that point, it's like one of them is just standing by Levy, and anytime she wants a snack, the invisible servant just.
Laura, at the mention of snacks, Sonari, you feel the look that Sonari gives you. Just like,
I talk to Sonari like, if you wish to interact, you can interact.
Sonari kind of glides over and nods to Levy and looks at the snacks.
Oh, please. Grab some and
She
hands
takes
it.
some, nods in thanks.
I like mentally like tell one of my unseen servants to like go get more.
That's a
Between
good
the
choice.
two of us, there won't be enough.
That's a very good choice with Sonari.
All right, one of the lords of House Cyrom, the martial and honor-focused individuals, goes, "We must begin. It is past. We must return to the maps." The general goes,
Oh, my favorite part.
"Gather." Immediately bickering breaks out. From what the party is able to understand, let's get some insight checks.
Yeah.
Thylo, you arrive at the city, and we'll get to that in a second.
12.
Okay.
16.
12 as well.
16. With 12s, it just seems like a lot of bickering. But with a 16, you are able to tell that House Doa and House Cyrom have very much grouped up on opposite sides of the table and are just interjecting with everything the other one has to say.
Is there someone at the table that I trust and know closely?
There's Lord Braylor.
Okay, Lord Braylor, I'm gonna go right into his brain. I'm gonna be like, can you tell me what is happening here?
Of course.
Ben's trying
Ben,
to
you're
talk, but
muted.
he's muted.
Sorry. I was gonna say Sonari can make that insight check as well.
Cool.
Ooh, good catch.
She has a +1 to insight.
18.
All right. Okay. The 16 is the information that House Cyrom and House Doa just hate each other. Just hate each other. With a fervency. Dogged hate. General Chorshire of House Thorn is constantly having to get everyone back on track. Lord Braylor goes on to say, well, General Chorshire runs this city, and his father ran it before him, and his father ran it before him back in the days of the war. Over there, you will see... the Church of Death has appointed a war monarch. That has not happened in a long time. Likely, they are using this outbreak of undead to appoint a war monarch. This is a play.
And let's pretend I didn't know what a war monarch is.
There is, in these times, in these peaceful times, one monarch per church. But under certain circumstances, they can appoint additional monarchs that have more focused tasks. In this case, war.
War. Got it.
Which
Okay.
seems like they're using a bit of a technicality. It's troubling. Over there.
Wait, you said the Church of Dead appointed a war monarch because of the dead.
The undead.
Okay.
They
Listen.
hate the undead.
So they wouldn't create the undead in order to get a war monarch?
I wouldn't think so.
But I feel like if anybody would know everything about something, it would be the thing that hates it the most, yes?
That is quite intuitive, yes.
And then they get to kill a ton of them?
This thread bears pulling on, I think.
Okay. Sorry, continue.
Of course. There's House Olkirk, the right hand of Thorn. And you see a bunch of... to call them jocks would be mean, but they're very much the Chads. You know, they're a bunch of like souped up. They all got like extravagant plate armor on, whereas House Thorn is a bit more refined. These are the ones that are chomping at the bit to prove themselves. Yeah, the himbos. House Olkirk has the second most standing armies of the houses under House Thorn, number one being House Thorn. House Thorn says jump, House Olkirk says how high. They are the strong right hand of House Thorn. Braylor goes on to say, and House Cyrom over there is the clever left hand of House Thorn. They do not have any armies. They have elite martial forces that are quite capable, and they are very strict and very focused on their honor and their martial ways, and that's why they don't get along very well with House Doa. House Doa is I wouldn't call them corrupt. I would call them the quiet knife. They do the dirty work for House Thorn. They do the things that they don't want the people in general to know about. They are spies, and they are poisoners, and they are only on the up and up because House Thorn says they're on the up and up, and as long as they're doing what House Thorn says, House Thorn has no reason to get rid of them because they are very good at what they do. House Reichs, you can see the dragon trainers in their more mystic clothing. They've got less impressive armor than they have dangling stones that have carvings on them and stuff like that, and they're a little more eccentric would be the word. Did I miss any of them? Oh, and of course House Thorn. And you realize that he leaves someone out, and that is House Fold. You can see Lord Marin kind of by himself with a single servant, just kind of quietly listening along and looking at all the big, tall, scary lords. The little halfling that he is, just kind of looking around. The servant seems eloquently dressed and lavish. And kind of, looking at the wine that he has in his hands for other people that Lord Marin hasn't even touched. But Lord Marin himself seems sad. Everyone else is either angry or chomping at the bit to kill them some zombies. But Lord Marin just has kind of a far off look and it doesn't seem noticed by the rest of the lords. Dorky.
I really hate to ask this, but can you very, very briefly go back through the relationships and just kind of give me like quick one sentence, like these people are right hand or...
Absolutely. House Thorn, top dogs. House Thorn, the most powerful house. Everyone answers to House Thorn. House Olkirk, the strong right hand of House Thorn. They're the Chads. House Cyrom, the clever left hand. They're the martial elite. House Reichs, dragon trainers. House Doa, underhanded and sly.
The spies?
Yeah. And House Fold, which is Lord Marin. They are seen. Clearly they are dismissed by the other houses. They are the newest house to be brought to the table, as it were. They are seen as the house as a whole is seen as not really to be taken seriously. They don't have any armies. They don't have any dragon riders. And
what's your name again?
House Fold, Lord Marin. And he is the only house lord that is present. Everyone else is a general or a lord in their own right, but this is the head lord of House Fold present, and that's Marin.
And no one's paying attention to him? Can I just wander over to him?
Sure.
Okay.
You've met him before.
I have, right? With the whole we did druid stuff.
This is true. Taylor, you have met Marin before. Back when he was a young lad.
Okay.
Tara.
I did the caterpillar thing with
that's
Tara.
Marin. Yeah, he has not aged well. And no druidic sense about him. No magical status about him, but you also Levy also met how Lord Marin in the jousting tournament at the beginning of last season.
Oh yeah.
And he was very excited about all the horses.
Mm-hmm.
So Eshna, you kind of wander over.
I'm gonna wander over to him, and I'm just gonna like put my hand out for one of my unseen servants to come and put an empty glass of wine
It is produced.
in my hand.
That came out of the blur effect and really fucked with my head for a second. The servant doesn't notice you at first, but Lord Marin does, and kind of kicks his shin. Ah! Oh, apologies. Sorry about that.
No, don't be sorry. How are you doing over here? You seem a bit off on your own.
Well, I am excited, and this looks like a very readied response. I am excited to see mine guns get put to the use of turning back the tide of the undead. It is a noble cause, I think. Apologies, I'm Lord Marin, at your service. He does a little bow.
Lovely. I'm Eshna. It is nice to meet you.
Kind of nods.
And then I'm going to pop into his head, and I'm going to be like, if there are things you don't wish to say out loud, you don't have to.
You project that, but he doesn't seem to hear you, as if he has some protection against people that might
Magic
be able
eyeballs.
to get. You cast detect magic with your vision, and everybody's got crazy shit.
I'm not looking at everybody.
Yeah, there's a vast glow, and you
The reason I didn't do it before.
and you hone in. Marin has 10 rings. One of them has an insignia that seems to have a mental protection, a fortitude about the mind. The other 9 rings also have various magical capabilities. Go ahead.
No, go for it. Sorry.
One being translation.
Okay.
Another one being a teleportation magic of some kind, which he probably shouldn't have. On paper, the Church of Death has a monopoly on all teleportation circles and magics. But he's a lord.
Church of Death again. Okay, got it.
And a couple of other ones that are more like day-to-day things, just to make his life easier. There's one that summons a chair.
Nice. That's adorable.
And one that sets off a 9th level fireball.
Noticing that, I'm gonna put my hand out for like a proper greeting towards the hand. Yeah. And can I sleight of hand the mind ring off?
Yes, are you sure?
Not when you say it like that. Then I'll just do the proper greeting, and I'll be like, I am a Kalishtar. If you wish to not converse out loud where your companions can hear, just let me know.
He looks about and kind
You
of
seem troubled.
he looks about, and you see that his eyes land on Lorwyn, and he goes, I do believe we are safe enough here, don't you think? And he kind of hesitates, but then does indeed take off the ring.
Do I notice?
What are you up to, Lorwyn?
I'm just standing and watching everyone.
Okay. You feel the eyes briefly, and the light in your eyes shift over, and you see him. He's already looked away from you, but you see that he is talking to Eshna, has her hands, and then he takes off a ring.
Okay. I was gonna say I start walking to the left side of the room, just more a little bit out of the shadow, in the more of the shadows area, but in sight of everyone, just more out of view.
Okay.
I'm going to pop into his head, and I'll be like, I just find that this is a little bit more private.
Huh.
How do you?
It's windy.
Yeah, I enjoy the wind.
Sorry.
How do you? It's
Go-
okay.
No one's. I haven't had this kind of mental cognition in years. Reminds me of an old friend.
Oh, well, that's nice. Well, how are you? How are you feeling here? Is it odd for you to not have your fellow lords here with you? You seem to be...
Mine lords are sycophants. They very much would rather be elsewhere where they are now, I'm sure, buying art or something, drinking. They're good lads. They just, these are serious matters. I figured I'd tend to them myself. Don't know if I trust any of them to not put their, put their foot in their mouths, as it were.
Why I like talking in the mind. But truly, are you all right? Everyone seems to have high emotions, and yours seem to be more down.
The music of his mind, you thought would be more melancholy and slow, but it's not. It is a tempest of sorrow. And he is finding a joy in the fact that the guns he brought to this kingdom are not being used on people. And they're being used on undead. And he's clinging to that. You sense a deep-seated regret and sorrow in this hobbit, in this halfling. Damn it, Jake! we did the summer series, and now I've got to retrain my brain to say halfling.
I won't apologize.
Go ahead.
Your machines are very powerful, very advanced.
Thank you. I'm concerned about what they might look like after I'm gone. How they might develop. Things might have been simpler if we were all still using swords. Bows.
Yes, but I've learned from watching most everything. Nothing stays in the same form forever. So change is inevitable. At least your hands are the ones that are shaping it, right?
Yes. Insight check.
No.
And then we're going to cut over to Thylo.
17.
17? You're not 100% sure that his answer was the truth.
Like, yes, as in his hands maybe weren't the ones that made it, or yes, as in he's
Yes.
like okay with having had made it.
No, in that he does not feel like he has full control.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let us cut over to Thylo. Thylo, you're on the north side of Baranold. You're safe. That said, a lot of dragons are overhead. A lot of them, and by that I mean hundreds. You don't see any of you see one that is monstrously large and just slowly moving overhead, but followed by a flock of maybe large to huge sized dragons, the occasional medium sized dragon, and people riding them, the various house lords being summoned to address the outbreak of the undead on the other side of the city. And then you hear the detonation of the cannons, and the ground shakes from under you, and all the dust, like it's as if the city itself has a kickback, like a recoil, and a wall of dust moves over you, and it's in your eyes, it's in your mouth. As the dust settles, the shadows of the dragons look up, and you notice, oh, hey, the moon did that thing it does every now and then, where it suddenly shifts to a random face facing the earth. The third face. As you remember, the moon is a dodecahedron, a 12-sided die. And it has, it did that thing. It did that thing it sometimes does at random, where it moves to show a different face. Completely
Nothing
normal.
happens or
all the
changes
time.
when it. Okay.
Insight check.
Okay.
You approach front gate.
So did I not teleport here?
You teleported to the Furinor, because you would have had access to the underwater ruin for your teleportation needs.
Oh, I have the spell.
Okay, then
Teleportation circle.
scrap all that. Then you appear in one of the primary teleportation circles within the city, and a clerk off to one side, dressed in the robes of the Church of Death, goes, "Name." You're in a dark,
Real quick, do we
cavernous room.
like the Church of Death? We're indifferent.
Indifferent. There's been some interactions with the Church of Death that have been a little dodgy, but it's the Church of Despair that you really want to avoid.
Got it. Okay.
I think any negative things we had with the Church of Death was
Pod.
Pod. Yeah.
Okay. Philo.
Surname.
Scratch.
Made an insight check. It's a 2.
And bookmark. And bookmark.
And what's your business here? Scratch. The ground shakes
I'm
from the
here to
gunshots.
fight against the plague of undead.
God, I hope you're a caster.
It's minor illusion.
All right, yeah, you can go. Go on.
Thanks.
Get off the platform, seriously.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
You hear the whoop as someone else shows up. Name. You open up into the city. Incredibly well paved roads, and all the buildings are like in proper order and look all the same. And the sprawling city of Cairn that you're used to is just a mess of roads like Boston. You know what I mean? This is much more kind of Dallas vibes, where everything's just very gridlocked.
It's a grid system.
Yeah, it's a grid system.
Okay. I want to go to Alpha 1 on the grid system.
I'm not that smart. What's that? Is that just A1?
So
You're
usually
trying to
they'll usually have like the east-wests as numbers and then the north-souths as letters.
Okay.
So A1 would just be the exact center of
Oh, the center. Okay. You start
yeah,
heading
wherever
towards
the most
center.
important thing is. Like, so Washington D.C. has a grid system, and like 00 whatever, like Maine whatever is like that's gonna be the National Mall. That's gonna lead you to the White House.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes good sense. You begin moseying on. You don't see any homeless. You don't see any street vendors. You don't see any buskers. You don't see much of anything. You see street signs and people moving quickly and soldiers everywhere. Ornate temple to the Church of Death, you pass by, and a shrouded figure kind of watches you. Not menacingly, just shrouded.
Can I kind of just more or less passively, in a way, cast Detect Thoughts and just try to pick up on everything that I've missed over the past 2 weeks just from people rushing by?
Sure, let's say you get the full download.
Okay.
There's been a outbreak of undead. The dragons are here to respond. There, you also would have you also know that there's a standing army on the north side of the city that the House Thorn very much does not want to throw at the undead, because that's just going to make more undead. But House Olkirk is like, we're here and we're ready. Let's go. Put us in, coach.
Okay. Do we know why the undead are there? Like, I know
you would have learned from Eviosa that whilst the strange happenings and I believe it was Levy when they were unlocking the Duskborn information, and they tapped into some non-linear shenanigans, that pod reached out to Despair, and Despair said, hey, what's up? Where's your brother at? And he was like, I'm not gonna tell you. And he's like, oh, okay, unleash undead. I will stop this and save thousands of people. Just tell me where your brother's at. And Pod was like, no.
Got it. Okay.
It was a lot cooler than that, though.
Right.
All right.
Okay.
You gain all that information. And you make your way towards a very important looking building. Only knowing that because of the fact that it's much bigger, much thicker, and it's got bigger markings on it, but otherwise it's the same unadorned block. And the guards are a little beefier.
Okay. Yeah, are they stopping me from just walking in? Because
The doors are closed, and every now and then it opens up and someone leaves, or a servant carrying a missive or something like that. But there are 2 minotaurs standing on either side of the door, and a gargoyle overhead.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, in a very like aloof, absent-minded way, not even really even pay attention to the guards there, and just go as if I'm just supposed to be, and just try to open the door.
Make a performance check.
Oh, this isn't a performance. This is just this isn't my plan. I just am so focused on anything else.
Then I will say make a performance check just so that I have a ground with which how my minotaurs and gargoyles will react.
Nat 20.
Okay. Let's go. You are so focused and so intent, and you look like you know what you're doing, and you look
And
like
I'm probably
you're in
grumbling
a rush.
to myself as well. Just
Yeah. That one of the minotaurs like gets the door for you.
Thank you.
Of course, sir. And you're in. Through some shenanigans and moving about a little bit and having to do a few clever things, you find yourself walking into... I'm rewarding the 20 here. Walking into the room, and you spot Eshna and you spot Levy. And you spot everyone else within, including the Warforged. It's at this moment Thranduin, High Inquisitor of the Stormfather, who has been relatively quiet, every now and then growling a contrary point to set things right and prove, you know, just to cut through the bullshit, suddenly perks up and turns No one else does this. But because you just entered, you notice. Perks up, turns, and looks out the bay windows towards the salted flats. Fire! Fire! Everyone pauses, turns, and looks. And a massive wall of fire is traveling along the salted wastes. And above it, hundreds of dragon riders. And that's where we're going to go to break.
Whoa.
The alarm bells sound. We are back. Dragonfire. More dragonfire than anyone has perceived in an age. This is not your dragons. These are not your people. This is on the far side of the no man's land. This is House Toil. House Toil does not have the benefit of a bottleneck, a giant city with which to keep the undead problem away from their kingdom. And the initial panic that sweeps through the room, except for House Olkirk, which is like, yeah, war, is that of, oh god, House Toil is attacking. The wall of flame bakes, just carpets the land as the dragons burn all along the salted wastes. The screams of the undead melting, fusing. Wholesale from the rapid river to the east, to the ocean, to the west. You can see the whole length of land just burning. You can see acid. You can see lightning. Hundreds upon hundreds, maybe thousands of dragons, all being mounted by House Toil and their respected houses. And just as it starts to get within that mile mark of Bairnold, they pull up. Many of your own dragons belonging to House Reichs and the other houses begin to take to the air. But they don't clash. Instead, the dragons of House Toil swoop down and begin burning all the way back towards their lands. They have taken the scorched earth approach, trying to nip this in the bud before it can get completely out of hand. Anarian, your immediate thoughts.
But where am I right now?
You have just gotten into the city, and you have gotten off your horse, and you're looking at yourself, and you're covered in grime. You pull a finger out that's still doing this, it's stuck in between one of your pauldrons, and you chuck it, and you look, and then the alarm goes up, and you watch the fire. And your immediate
gets in the gates and is like, they could give a little more warning before they just blow everything up.
And then your immediate thought, and then your following thought,
and the dragons,
is that of Pod, who is still out there. Your stomach knots. What do you do?
I'm gonna pray to Amora for a divine intervention that Pod will be safe.
Okay.
I have to make a less than a 13.
On a D100?
Yeah.
Cheering goes up around you. People who don't understand that your sibling is out there somewhere.
88.
You feel nothing. Nothing celestial. Nothing reaching out from beyond to assist you in this moment, which feels like a betrayal.
Narian kind of finds the nearest wall and slumps against it, feeling a sudden wave of exhaustion.
Do you think you might know of the area where they were?
I mean, it's still currently burning, right? So
Horribly.
yeah. He is going to. Is there like a stable where horses can be swapped out for fresh horses?
Yeah, you see
Or is
one
this
of the
like
stable
my
boys.
personal horse?
It's not your personal horse, but it's been given for you to use. You can very much switch out for a fresh horse if you need to. You see a stable boy
So-
currently. He was brushing down the horse, and now he's just staring out into the wastes, open mouth, just slack jawed.
Need that. I need a horse. Take this one.
All right, away, sir. Okay. And he runs off. Within a minute, a fresh horse comes up, stamping.
Thank you. And I basically just make ready to, as soon as the fire is, kind of not
Kind
going
of
to just
traversable.
annihilate. Yeah. And he'll ride out immediately.
The second you think there's an opening, you, like a bat out of hell, just haul ass into no man's land.
How far out would he have been?
About a day.
Okay. Pretty sure the whole party has ways of communicating telepathically except Anarian.
I was just
So
gonna
off
say,
he goes.
as this huge display, the rest of you, is happening, I get immediately the arguing picks back up, and in that humdrum of noise, Eshna, you see a lone figure on horseback, galloping madly out into no man's land.
Do I recognize that it's Anarian?
You recognize the cloak.
Great. I'm gonna immediately start looking around the room, and I'm gonna start thinking of my people. I'm like, okay. There's
Surprisingly, Thylo's
Levy is
there.
I know. Wait, that's what I was gonna do. I was
Oh, my
gonna.
bad.
Okay, Levy is there. Quip is there. Thylo is here. Thylo. I run over to Thylo. What? Hi. Are you okay? What are you?
Hi. Okay. Don't like worms. It's fine. Where's Anarian?
Actually, yeah, that's what I was just about to tell you. Levy! And I just get the attention, and I'm like, Anarian is running into the fire. Do we know where Pod last was?
Didn't Pod go with Anarian?
I don't see them with him.
My familiar popping out of the pocket, and I'm gonna send the hawk after
Okay.
Anarian.
Hawk has a bit of a hard time getting out of the building, but eventually gets there.
Fair enough. Yeah.
Doink, doink.
I just want eyes on, and if possible, get close enough so Anarian
How
knows
far
that
can that familiar get from you?
it can go as far as it needs to, but I can't see. I can't use its senses
Okay.
after a certain distance. So it would have to get back within whatever to be able to to see through it. Let me read, but I'm pretty sure it can go as far away. Yeah, so within 100 feet of you, I can communicate telepathically and see through its eyes and hear through its ears. But other than that, yeah. so I can see through its ears and hear through see through its ears. I can see through its ears and hear through its eyes, as long as it's within 100 feet of me.
So you
but
see
otherwise there's
passing by, and then you hear just.
Otherwise, there's no distance that it needs to be from me.
Okay.
Oh, and I'm also gonna telepathically tell Bookmark. Eyes on Warforged.
Okay.
And then go, I'm sorry, do you have eyes? That felt insensitive.
Philo, would you like to describe your appearance to Lorwyn or to Shane?
Yeah, so I'm. Thylo's a tall, slender, slightly orange elf, but elves aren't really taken too kindly in the area, so looks like a tall, skinny human that's a little bit orange. I have prosthetic ears on so that you can't see the points. Wearing a very patchwork cloak, as if I needed a lot of pockets, but I didn't have enough time to make it look pretty, and so it's just a bunch of different like pockets on this cloak. I've got a little bit of alfalfa. When the hood is down, there's always some hair that's sticking up in a random direction. And just I look like I spent 90 years reading books and not doing much else, and it's because I've spent 90 years reading books and not doing much else.
I love that.
So yeah, Bookmark has eyes on the Warforged. I got the familiar out following Anarian. Yeah, I guess to Eshna, does Braylor know what's happening?
Lord Braylor's right over here. I'll go over to Lord Braylor and I'll just be like, hey,
Lord Braylor's getting chewed out by Thranduin.
Excuse me. Hey, guys.
Braylor turns. Thranduin slowly turns to you. Takes your measure. Yes.
One of our companions seems to be running into the fire. Do you have any possible maybe like solution to get to them quickly, possibly? We're supposed to have dragon riders or something. Help.
Thranduin, High Inquisitor Thranduin, kind of makes the effort to look like he's sympathetic. Kind of nods. We'll see what we can do. And turns away. Lord Braylor takes your arm, takes your elbow, and kind of walks you back towards the rest of the party and goes, "Who?"
Anarian.
Fuck. He does a little double take at Lorwyn.
Lauren steps from the shadows and walks towards him.
I would call upon your service, friend, in the name of House Thorn.
He lowers his shoulders. In what way?
There's an individual galloping with haste into that hellscape. You are to ensure his survival. And whatever you can glean on House Toil's machinations would be of great use to all of us.
Sounds fun. And he turns away and starts to leave. With a handout for Sonari.
Sonari looks up, takes a handful of the snacks and quickly darts up behind you and then falls into step. Turns and waves back at Levy.
When she turns to wave back, she can already see that Levy, with her own small little handful, is like running after them. Wait, I want to go too. got the snacks.
You
Have a
are
snack.
not going into a field of fire.
I
I
am.
will be fine, right? We'll be fine. Looks at
Not
Lauren.
on a dragon. I will take
Especially on a dragon.
Sonari-
No,
Sonari
you
looks
are
hurt.
not riding on that strange machine man's dragon that you just met.
I like to sound like I'm strange.
Sonari,
That's a compliment. I'm strange too. Now, can I please ride with you?
Hold on, I'm gonna personality check for Sonari.
okay.
That's
I
your
will be
choice,
changing
Feffers.
into a giant eagle to follow.
Yeah. I rolled and it's your choice, Feffers.
It's my choice.
Yep.
You're capable of doing so. You will be slower. But in comparison to horseback, you'll be fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then,
You can carry one other person, by the way.
like me and
Yeah,
And Levy
one
only?
other person, yeah.
okay. It's like I looked at Sonari and we both just acknowledge it to each other. Like, you're more than welcome to come, but you have to be the one to keep yourself safe.
Easy. Done.
Oh my god. Just hop on the back of a random dragon. Come on, Thylo.
Yeah, Thylo's already. As soon as Lorwyn started leaving the room, Thylo was like, "Yep, we're following this thing now." But before I do,
I'm just gonna be like, that's the most initiative I have ever seen Thylo have into a dangerous situation. I don't know what transformation he has gone through, but I like
The
it.
cocoon changed him.
The cocoon of bravery.
I want to cast message to Braylor.
Ah, okay.
I'm not sure if you fully grasp the dangers of what would happen if Anarian is captured by all these things, but we're gonna go save him so we can save the world. If you can manage to muster up any, forces or strength, there many of the old Kirks, I'm sure they don't mind dying out there to come find us. We're gonna go get him so that we can save the world. I don't know who to trust in this room, but I trust you because I've seen you alive before and you still are alive. So bad things are gonna happen. Despair's no good. We're gonna get Anarian, save the world. I hate worms.
Side question: did they know Sonari was my dragon, or is it just assumption? Okay.
House Reichs probably knows.
Yeah.
I still don't think that she's your dragon. I think
I think
you
the
are
dragon's
going
outside.
to your dragon.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Just wanted to see how it was. Okay.
Lord Braylor, you hear just the mental equivalent of trying to catch up and stammering, and then you're gone.
Good.
Okay, the party begins moving up into the upper levels of the city. And getting up there, you find mostly House Reichs and various mechanics for the gunners moving about. It's real hectic up here, and a lot of these dragons are either just basking in the sunlight or just fighting each other. Not like to the point where they're actually drawing blood, but kind of like when lions try to keep their instincts sharp. You know what I mean? And they're just play fighting. And there's just a lot of motion, and there's one really big green dragon that is just... The wings are draped over the walls. The head is down. Someone has brought out a pile of hay for its head, and the one massive eye kind of watching the party move past. So for the record, these are all... Every dragon you see here, a chromatic dragon. To throw it back a little bit, 2 years ago, when the volcano on the island on the Sunton Isle erupted and all of those dragons got loose, those were all chromatic dragons. And stereotypically, the chromatic dragons are the evil ones. They are very inclined towards brutality and evil acts for the sake of evil acts. These are all chromatic dragons. And they all start shying away from Sonari. Sonari looks to Lorwyn and drops the polymorph. And a platinum dragon, metallic dragon, emerges. Wings unfurling, bright metal scales glinting off of the sunlight. A large-sized creature proudly raises the head and roars, and then nuzzles Lorwyn.
So as they're passing each dragon, she's like, "Oh, is that one yours? No, okay. What about that one? Is that no? Okay." Oh. And she just is, for once, probably the first time in her life, she's just no words, just pure awe, jaw to the floor, like can't believe what she's seeing right now.
Lauren just scratches her chin as she nuzzles.
In Draconic, Thylo's going to say, "Oh, that makes a lot of sense."
We both just turn our heads. And just like...
You just got 100 times cooler.
I'm gonna wild shape into my giant eagle form, just to get ready, because I'm like, I don't want to talk.
In response to Levy going, you just got a bunch cooler, Thylo's going to be like, I can do cool stuff too.
In Draconic, he says, "Let's see."
Philo, are you Philo?
Oh, poor Thylo. Only just now getting
Oh,
noticed.
hi, I'm back.
Are you good? You were.
I don't like
in a
worms, but
cocoon?
otherwise-
Oh, did you like worms before?
I was indifferent, mostly.
I'm not
There's
sure
a
how to
list
take
of
that.
priorities that I feel like is maybe about out of whack, but you know what isn't at this point. I feel like number one, we have to save Anarian from doing a thing, and then number two, I need to talk to you, and I point to Lorwyn. But
And
you know,
as he's
people might be
talking,
dying, so that
just
can
gonna
wait until.
bring Thylo into a hug. Like as he's mid talking, she's like, okay. like you're gonna keep going, so I'm just gonna get my hug now.
Thylo stops talking.
I'm so glad you're safe. So you're coming with us. You're gonna ride with Eshna?
Oh. No, I have my own way.
Okay. Okay.
Are we on top of a building right now?
Yep.
Okay. I don't know what we're waiting for. Anarian is rushing out to the end of the world right now, and we need to go.
Yes. Absolutely. Follows Lorwyn's lead, trying to be as respectful as possible. Waiting for instruction.
I just start climbing up onto Sonari's back from her left side, and I'm sure Sonari will be leaning down for you to assist as pleasantly as she does.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
I'm just gonna walk towards the
reflecting
edge.
off the scales is near blinding. Go ahead, Tyler.
I'm gonna walk towards the edge of the building, the roof, and bookmark to the ground. I'm gonna grab the dagger.
Disappears, reappears down on the ground. You're standing on undead mess.
Ugh. Okay. Phantom Steed is being cast.
Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, Phantom Seed do a zoom.
Yeah.
Phantom Steed go fast.
All right. The wings unfurl. The eagle. And two creatures lift into the air and vault out. With the Phantom Steed and Thylo upon it, galloping on behind.
You are wildly underestimating the speed of a Phantom Steed.
Hurling? I don't know. What's a word you would use? Zipping.
In front of, I think, is the original phrase.
All right, Anarian. What's your headspace like right now? What's it look like?
Just praying that he somehow, I mean, he's a cleric, so he feels like he might have a chance, but until he can get within a mile and really test the mental link that they have,
Okay.
he's not sure, so he's just praying.
The stench.
Have you noticed the familiar? I would have tried to
Maybe
get
how-
it down to where you would be able to like see it, like next to you. Like I wouldn't be hiding it from you.
Is it like obviously not a normal bird to the eye?
It's like
or
a
is it
Phantom-esque hawk.
There are no
Slightly
wildlife out here.
translucent.
true?
That's it.
And I've seen
Yeah.
Thyla's familiar. Yeah, so yeah, I would have seen it
Okay.
as he's riding. Doesn't even look at it, but oh, it's out there. I have to get there. That's all he says. Is you can probably hear like the mutterings of prayer that he's just like under his breath.
Well, it's a bit too far away for me to communicate telepathically, so it's just gonna stay next to you until you tell it to come back to me.
Oh, okay. I thought you could
Yeah.
like see and hear through it. Okay.
If I'm close enough, but you're more than 100 feet away at this point.
Okay. Does it like can it like relay a message, or is it just?
It's if you tell it to come back, it'll follow your directions, and then it can tell me when it gets there.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll just like brief update of that I'm going to get pod, and tell it to turn.
Cool.
Since now I know how they work, now Nari knows.
The smell. The sulfur. It's in your eyes. The ruin of hundreds of years trampling under your feet, under hoof. Time passes. I would say that you're running your horse ragged. Not to the point of death, but it's close.
As I run, I keep it in shape. I cast Greater Restoration, so it's just.
I would say you're riding so hard you don't get a short rest. Nor could you rest in this moment. Sun begins to dip. Your eyes bleary, bloodshot, as the party catches up to you.
I'm gonna like fly down as an eagle to be like closer to Anarian and just kind of like offer. Pop into his head and be like, if you need to give that horse a rest and want to look from the sky, we're here to help.
That might be good. I'll kind of slow enough. Let's see. We got any? You said it's getting darker. I'll cast command on the horse
Okay.
to return, and then I will leap off using Steps of Night, and I'll fly up onto Eshna's back.
Nice. Back into the sky. And it's a humbling sight. House Toil's dragons come back for another round.
I will pick up Thylo with my talons. No? Okay, I will leave Thylo for death.
Well,
This was his wish, I guess.
That's what he wants. That's what he wants.
I don't know what would be safer unless you guys are like, because if you're in the dragon's airspace,
Not the ground where they're blowing fire. Is
You
my
can
guess.
Okay,
see
yeah.
the wall of fire. It's pretty convincing. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I have rope trick.
Okay.
Okay.
I can just pop into a pocket dimension.
Are you doing so?
But
Just explain to
everyone can also
Lorwyn.
fit.
Just explain to Lorwyn. So he'll be fine. I promise.
Well, no, my question I think would be as far as like occupying the same airspace. Are these dragons low and the squad is like well above them?
The squad is able to fly over. The dragons are sticking to about 120 feet above ground.
When Ashna spoke to Laura, was that telepathically?
Yeah.
You hear nothing.
Okay. I'm just like, so just gonna pop into Levy's head, and I'm just gonna be like, "Oh, there's nothing going on up there."
What do you mean there's nothing going on up there? There's a ton of dragons breathing fire down. What do you mean?
I tried to talk into the Dragon Rider's head, and there's nothing there. So you're aware.
Interesting.
Please be safe.
Will do.
I want to cast
Worry
a
not.
message.
Okay.
This is not possible.
I want to cast a message to Eshna
Okay.
and say, I don't know how the other dragons are going to respond with seeing other things in their airspace. It might be safer just to get into the pocket dimension.
In your pocket dimension,
Up to
in
8
your
people, yeah.
pocket- a dragon?
Oh, message is any number of words.
Oh, okay. Why did I think it was from 5? Can it fit a dragon? Like a large dragon?
The dragon can turn into a person.
Levy, Thyla wants us to go in the pocket dimension. Whoa.
Lorwyn
Yes.
just kind of taps his shoulder.
There is a certain amount of
Silo
yelling
wants
required
us-
here.
I want us to jump into the pocket dimension he's gonna make, so we don't cross paths.
Is that
with
why your
those
friend said he was
dragons.
safe?
Yeah. So we
What was the
should
sentence?
go to him.
I said-
We can all go.
All right. And then I tell Sonari for us to go lower and to go in because it makes sense to them.
Wings tuck.
During that flight descent, though, I will be trying to do an investigation to see what I can see of the other forces.
Okay. Wall of fire. There is
Nat
one
20.
or two. Say again.
Nat 20.
Ew. There's a couple of dragons that are staying above. And one of them is kind of double timing it towards you. Not necessarily aggressively, but as you tuck and dive, that dragon rider pulls up and goes back up into the sky.
And I'll fly down with Anarian and pop out of wild shape, so the giant eagle can also.
Okay.
I can fit in there.
All Philo, and basically, I don't know if it's one-way communication with message. Is it, or is it
If
like
I
we're all in a
message
group
you,
chat?
you can then respond.
Okay. So what Philo hears is, "All right, we're gonna head to," and then just blood-curdling scream. That just like cuts off at one point because she gets so scared that she's no longer like thinking, like just brain go empty, so scared right now.
You're streaming?
Oh yeah.
Lauren reaches a hand back for her to hold on to.
Just like talon grabs, like oh my gosh, we're gonna die.
He's just like emotionless is going down.
The wings boom, out at not the last second or anything like that, but and then alights upon the ground next to Thyla, and the eagle quickly follows.
Sonari will lower herself to help Levy off before she, as if melts in dust, as if her hair that is when she's in her polymorph for the starlight is what affects her body before she forms into her human form.
Pops up. Big grin.
You enjoyed that too much. Too much.
Happy wiggles.
It's impressive, but I'm mad right now. It's impressive though. She's like
Looks at
shaking.
Lorwyn like, hey, I did it funny.
He chuckles with her.
Yeah, you guys come down, and there's like a 10 feet of rope, and then every foot there's a knot so you can step on, and it's straight up in the air into nothingness.
Mhm.
The rest of the party has done this before with me.
Sonari kind of
So
peers up, kind of curiously.
Lauren, again, for her, will reach his hand down to assist her to climb up the rope.
Take it.
once I'm inside, I'm gonna pull the rope in, so there's nothing there.
Once the whole party is
everyone
in,
else-
everyone else getting in.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Jake.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Party's
Yeah,
in. Rope comes up. Yeah. With panache.
What does the pocket dimension look like? Where are we?
So this is what it says in the spell. At the upper end of the rope, an invisible entrance opens to an extra-dimensional space that lasts until the spell ends, so for an hour. The extra-dimensional space can be reached by climbing to the top of the rope. The space can hold as many as 8 medium or smaller creatures. The rope can be pulled into the space, making the rope disappear from view outside the space. Attacks and spells can't cross through the entrance into or out of the extra-dimensional space, but those inside can see out of it as if through a 3-foot by 5-foot window centered on the rope. So if you guys are looking through that little window, you can see directly down and see what's going on out there. And then I would say the rest of the pocket dimension is just kind of like... have you guys seen that episode of SpongeBob where he visits the future and it's just blank white tiles?
I was thinking.
I think it's going to be that, but it's all of, like, everything that's in Thylo's head is just in there. So there's just random piles of books just, like, spread out. The ghost of his father is just kind of like... Bookmark is just zooming. Whee!
Wait, sorry.
And I'm also gonna cast, once everybody's in, I'm gonna cast telepathic bond. It takes 10 minutes, but then up to 8 willing creatures can be linked telepathically.
Okay, Lauren.
So, Lorwyn and Sonari count as one.
I don't... Unless this is a homebrew thing that you're doing. In which case I will...
I respond with eyebrow wiggles.
It's a thing. They're doing a thing.
What would I have to roll to see if they're willing?
Oh, you just decide for yourself.
So you can tell yourself, like, if it's evens, it's this, or however you
Sorry,
wanna
follows your
make
lead.
those rules.
I think Thylo would explain beforehand. I'm going to be casting a spell to link us all telepathically. I would appreciate if we all just let that happen.
Lauren and Sonari look at each other and then they just nod. I rolled a nat 20 for success for that. Yeah.
It's very convenient for traveling when we have to, like, split up here and there.
Mm-hmm.
Which happens quite a lot. But I'm sure none of the rest of these people have ever had to deal with worms.
We're gonna have to talk about that.
We don't have to.
I think you might want to, since you keep mentioning them. No,
No.
I will squish any worms that come near you. Don't worry.
Thank you. So yeah, I think while we're just sitting there waiting for the fire to pass over.
Also, I did roll the nat 20 to see what the other people were doing.
Yes, I described that there were some overriders, and one of them broke off and started double timing towards you. And then as you dove, it rescinded.
Got it.
Yeah, Anarian, Do you know where Pod is?
God?
They had mentioned a death rite that they were very interested in experimenting with and tinkering with, that the Church of Death, that that your father had discovered. Yeah. So you know a general area with where you're headed.
So it's somewhere around there.
Okay.
And how far away is that still?
Probably got
At least
another. If you bunk down for the night, you can be there by tomorrow morning around 10 a.m. If you plowed through the night, you would get there before the sun was up.
But
Pretty
probably
sure we're gonna
exhausted.
be going through the night, aren't we? Yeah.
Safe to say.
With or without you, Anarian will be moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. I've pulled my fair share of all-nighters.
Yo.
But, I mean, you understand how bad this would be if they got you, right?
Do you not think Pod can't handle themselves?
It's not that he can't handle himself, it's what he knows.
What do you
It's
mean?
just as bad if they get him as they got me.
Either get Pod, or we get Pod's body.
We can get to his body, I can resurrect him, it won't be an issue.
Okay.
I just have to find him. Hopefully he's won't even come to that and he'll be hidden away somewhere, but
Yeah, but-
Do you guys have like a brotherly code or something for when?
I mean we have a mental connection, but I have to get closer.
Okay.
She left him alone.
Pod's an adult as well. They've gotten into sticky situations and gotten out before.
You're
We're not
right.
within 1,000 feet of the general area, are we?
You've got a couple hours of travel to go.
Oh, wait. I'm gonna cast Scrying.
Ooh. You're in a pocket dimension. No luck.
Is that?
You have to be on the same plane.
Does it?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, yep. First sentence. Okay. Well, I can do that once we're out of the pocket dimension. I will
Let's-
inform the squad.
10 minutes
can-
pass. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say I can scry on him once we're out of this.
10 minutes pass. 20 minutes pass. An hour passes. Do we have any means to know if it's safe to step outside?
Oh, there's a window.
Oh.
There's a 3-foot by 5-foot window.
It's what was corpses now looks like lava. But even that, after the hour mark, is starting to look more or less traversable, especially by flight.
So you say an hour passes, that means I get a forced long rest, right?
A short rest.
Or a
maybe.
short rest, yeah, short rest,
Yeah.
long rest, sure.
Yeah, I'll say.
Whether I
I'll
wanted it or
say-
not, I get a short rest.
I'll say definitely get you a short rest in.
The pocket dimension lasts an hour, so
Oh, well, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
This feels weird. Ah.
You guys.
Does that lava look like it's cooled off? No.
Careful footing. Horrible smells.
all mold earth.
Okay. You kind of taco burrito fold a lot of the ick away from you. Burning salt is the overall smell aside from the decay. Philo. Read me the scry spell.
You can see and hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, which is modified by how well you know the target and the sort of physical connection you have to it. If a target knows you're casting the spell, it can fail the saving throw voluntarily if it wants to be observed. On a successful save, the target isn't affected, and you can't use the spell against it again for 24 hours. On a failed save, the spell creates an invisible sensor within 10 feet of the target. You can see and hear through the sensor as if you were there. The sensor moves with the target remaining within 10 feet of it for the duration. A creature that can see invisible objects sees the sensor as a luminous orb about the size of your fist. Instead of targeting a creature, you can choose to target a location you have seen before as the target of the spell.
Okay. I'm looking up something real quick.
I think I know what you're Googling.
Do you?
I think. I have a guess.
Let's hear it. Actually, you know what? No. Message it to me.
Yeah.
Your scry spell fails, and that could mean a lot of different things. But there's a palpable moment of silence amongst the party as you pull out a cup of water and cast the spell, and it fails. Nothing is revealed to you.
Okay. Doesn't necessarily mean that he's dead. He could just not know that it's me casting and
Sure.
protected himself from it.
Yeah, that's got to be it. That's yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The party sets out. Anarian, you spot the area. There's a couple of standing stones in a circle. Charred black corpses all about. There's a flicker of movement.
Should be over there.
I'm gonna send my familiar ahead.
The party gets there.
Are we still all approaching in the air?
I assume so.
I assume so.
I'm on the ground.
Philo, you know just a little bit sooner than everybody else. And you turn. You can't help it. It's human nature. And that's half of you. To turn and watch.
I'm full elf.
My bad. And you turn and
He was
watch.
the half elf.
And you see Anarian's face. Pod had a magic item that he got at the house that you parent trapped, called Curzon's Ooze. And
Oh yeah.
when death comes for Pod, his body is consumed entirely by this ooze. And the flicker of movement that you saw, Anarian, is this gelatinous, filthy, corpse-ridden ooze that was your sibling Pod. Mindlessly roaming, sifting through the muck and the grime. And that's where we're going to end the night.
Already? What?
Well,
Chat, thank you for being here.
The slime thing.
Chat, thank you for being here. Tune in Thursdays and Saturdays as well for Windfall and Void Scourge, 8 p.m. EST. If you want to rail against me, you can do so in the Discord. There's a Terraform channel for that. And if you want to get caught up on the various shenanigans that we have been up to these past 4 years come October, you can head over to the YouTube Jake and Feffers. Stick around. We are going to be doing a raid, and we will be doing our outros. Shane, this is the part where we talk about ourselves, what we've been up to, and shamelessly plug all of the various things that we've been up to as well. And then we talk about our characters and what headspace they're in now that the episode has ended. We're going to start with Thilo. Ben Brainerd, everyone.
Hello, my name is Ben Brainerd. Thank you so much for watching this daily episode of the Disney Channel. Thilo is partially relieved.
Interesting.
Because Thilo and Pod were never, like, great friends. Pod wanted to believe that Thilo and him were, like, best friends, but Thilo was never, like, forthcoming with that. And then when stuff started coming out about like how Pod really likes death and killing people, Thilo was like, oh, okay. But then more pressingly, the stuff that Pod knows, being able to be got by the enemy, whether Pod is alive or dead for that, is not a good thing. So the fact that Pod can't be retrieved while dead because he's now an ooze, it's kind of relieving in like a very, very business sense, which is most of the only type of sense that Thilo has. Is
Question.
okay.
Is there any guilt in that? I've noticed that when great burdens are taken off of you, there's a lot of like guilt that follows that relief because it doesn't feel like it should be there. Does Thilo feel guilt in that moment?
He doesn't feel anything yet.
Okay.
Because there's the other issue of, hey, this is the Warforged that found my dad. And so I think until there's a moment of respite, Thilo won't fully process or even feel any of the emotions that would normally be happening right now. It's just a cloud of, well, that's not good, with a little bit of, but it's not the worst. But he won't take any time to fully process any of that until everything else that he's thinking about is gone. So until then, Anarian.
Oh, hi. I'm Critfail Jake. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. Anarian is not in a good place at this very moment. With the realization of Pod becoming an ooze takes away any possibility of casting Resurrection to bring it back because he needs the body. Is that going to stop him from like hacking the ooze apart to see if he can find Pod's bones inside somehow? Probably not. But that's for next week. Taylor.
Hi everyone, I'm Taylor and Tracy. You can find me everywhere as Taylor and Tracy. I'm the writer and game master of Heinefall, the LARP. Check us out at heinefall.com. Eshna is just immediately worried about Anarian because in the past, when Anarian has gotten hurt and goes into his I'm upset mode, Pod was the one that got him out of it. So she's worried about that, and she's also just immediately worried about Levy, who definitely has had loss in her life, but we're working on finding her like a true found family, and that's what joining this group had started to become, and now she has lost one of her found families. So Eshna is going to be just worried and beyond gentle and trying to take care of probably the two of them. With that, pass it off to Levy.
Hi everyone. I'm Dorky, I'm very depressed right now. And I play Levy, who is beyond depressed right now. I'm still in a bit of shock that it was the ooze. I'm trying to process that. But Levy is just, as Jake so greatly put it, not okay. Not doing great. Pod was Levy's little partner in chaos, and she honestly isn't gonna quite know how to take this at this point. Gonna be interesting. Passing it to Shane.
Hi everyone, I'm ShaneWhally. You can find me on all platforms as ShaneWhally, other than Twitch, which is ShaneWhally. That's with 2 E's. So right now, Lorwyn is having a wonderful day. He may not be showing that in the most physical way, but he got to fly with Sonari with a guest, which is something he's always wanted to do. And he got to talk to people who are really confusing to him, but it's okay. He's going with the flow. But he's happy that he's seeing people that are, from what he's understanding, true to their performances, and seeing them in a more solemn state gives him a sense of sympathy for them, as much as he cannot sympathize with their loss, but understands the gravity of loss when it comes to something. So he also is mulling along in his mind after seeing proudly how the other dragon deterred from him as he dived, and just chilling with Sonari in his thoughts. Seeing where this goes, he's excited for this next step. But as of right now, he's having a great day.
Okay. Just to double check, is that everyone? Okay. Chat, I will see you Thursday. For now, we're going to be raiding Critical Bard. And I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your evening. Take a lap, go touch some grass, hug a dog, hug your friends, somebody. I know it was a very heavy episode. Shout out to young Dr. Gay, who is probably got the worst of it right now. Love you all. Pile into this raid and have a fantastic rest of your evening.
Toodle noodle.
Bye.